Good morning. It's James from Pipe Doctor Home Services. Today is, I think, Thursday. Yeah, it's definitely Thursday. And it is June 10th? 11th. June 11th. Sorry, I'm a little messed up. I had a day off yesterday for my son's pre-K graduation. And I'm not used to taking off during the week. So I'm slightly discombobulated. We are on a maintenance visit today, plumbing maintenance visit for a client all the way up in Port Washington, which... shout out to my friend Mikey Coughs from Port Washington. It's my old coworker. Anyway, came up here to do a maintenance visit and a backflow test. We did the backflow test already. Maintenance visit, we found a couple things that need to be addressed. I actually found them during my previous plumbing visit to this client's home. So we'll get inside and we'll get these things taken care of. Hey guys, so I'm doing a voiceover for this video just because the client was working in his office right next to where I was working down in his basement, and with trying to just, be courteous and respecting his privacy. I didn't want to be talking out loud while I was working and distracting him and, having any type of issues with his privacy and whatnot. So I'm going to be lowering the audio from the clips of me working and just talking to you like this. So this maintenance visit is up in Port Washington on Long Island. So we came out, client was looking for a backflow test, and he was just looking to have general, plumbing maintenance checkup. He does have the plumbing service agreement with us, which is something that he purchased when I was there, like about a month or two ago. So he wanted to do his annual inspection just to make sure everything plumbing wise in the house was good, and also get the backflow test done. So I had already knocked the backflow test out of the way. That's done and over with. And the couple things I brought up to him, he gave me the thumbs up to go ahead with. So the first thing that I'm taking care of here is his Rinnai Tankless water heater that he has. I asked him when the last time it was that he had it flushed. He had said that Daniel, flushed it out. I think it was like 2024, or he thought it was more recent that Daniel had done it, but it turns out it was in 2024. So I told him, hey, it's been almost 2 years, I could take care of it now while I'm here. Kind of kill two birds with one stone since the clock is ticking. I can get this done while I'm working on other things at the same time. And he was like, hey, I'm cool with that. So, our normal setup and procedure that I've done with tankless flushes that you've seen a million times over on my channel. Next up, you're going to be seeing this toilet. The client says that it is running at nighttime, but I dye tested it and had that dye sitting in there for quite some time. Didn't see anything coming through, so we'll get back to that in a bit. But the next thing here is this Apollo pressure reducing valve, or a PRV. We had gotten this from Wolverine Brass. You can see there, of course, I ran out of Teflon. Go figure. But one of the things that's notorious in Port Washington is water pressure is very high up on the North Shore like that. So when I was there, for my previous visit, it was my first time at the client's home. I saw that he had a PRV, so I figured, let me test his water, or check the water pressure just to see, hey, is it within the range that I like to see it in? I usually like to shoot for like 50 to 75 PSI. And when I was there, however long ago it was like almost 100 pounds, or it was over 100 pounds. So I explained to him that his PRV had failed and that he should swap it out. So I brought it up to him again during this visit, and he was like, all right, since you're here, let's just get it done, get it over with. So you could see someone had put that metal sheet there and left these boards loose from when they originally installed this. So shout outs to them for making my life easier. Yeah, so, look, if a client has like 80 or 85 PSI, I'm not going to be like giving them a hard time about having a PRV installed. But when you're at like that 100-pound mark, that's a lot of pressure to be putting on, like the fill valves in your toilets and the cartridges in your faucets. Like everything nowadays is plastic, rubber, nothing's super solid or sturdy made out of brass. So if we can at least bring that pressure down to a more reasonable range, then, the client's still going to have fantastic water pressure using everything. Like they're not going to notice that big of a difference dropping it down to that, that range, but their plumbing system will. So a lot of people get nervous when they hear about a pressure reducing valve because they think that I'm just going to completely kill their water pressure, or like it's going to come trickling out of their shower head, but that's not the case. What I do like about this pressure reducing valve, so we had gotten this through our rep for Wolverine Brass. Shout out to them. It said Apollo on the box, but we got it through Wolverine Brass, and it said Wolverine Brass in their catalog. What I liked about it, though, is that it has internal 3/4 inch female threads on either side of this valve. So you can put this union that I'm tightening down, you could put it on either side. So it's interchangeable. I'm pretty sure the exterior threads on it are 1 inch. So you have room to, you see I stuck my finger in there because you could feel the threads. So you have room to, and like options to be able to switch this thing around and make it work. Sometimes space is limited, whatever the case is. If you want to put the union on the inlet side, the outlet side, either way, it gives you that option. So I thought that was super cool. This is my first time putting this specific PRV in, and when I first showed you the box for it, you could take a look at the model. I can't think of it off the top of my head, but so I'm just getting it tightened down. Yes, I'm not holding back on the copper, but I'm also not absolutely annihilating this thing and over tightening it like crazy. Make sure that you always put that gasket washer in for the union. We'll get that snug down, and then the next step I'll be showing you is going to be adjusting the pressure. You could see there the backflow device that I had tested. That passed. Both check valves are good. It's good to be testing backflows. I am licensed in New York State. I've had the license since 2019, and it's a fun thing to do. It's also a money grab because New York wants you to do it every year for people that they know. So you can see here I'm hooking up. That's my external water pressure gauge that hooks onto any type of hose thread, and it can hook onto a laundry faucet. So I have the water turned back on in the house with no fixtures open, so it's a closed system. And I think it was like around 55 PSI. So you could see here that tension nut, I am tightening it down so that this way I can increase the pressure in the house. So we're gonna go walk over, take a look. And I believe here it shoots up to about 70 or 75. So I give it a little bit more, because I don't want to just completely annihilate the pressure on them. I would like to have it still be very good. I tell every client that what I set it to is such a good pressure reading that people pay money to have their water boosted to that pressure. So you can see I gave a little thumbs up, and then the last step here is just tightening down that lock nut so that this way we don't have any movement on that tensioning nut. So I'm going to cut to the toilet now with the live audio. Color. I've had the dye in there for a while. The client's saying that it runs at night. So I said the best I could do is at least throw a new gasket on for you. Pop this one off. Kohler's funny, they make a red gasket and they're like, yeah, that thing's actually bad, you need to replace it with this other part. I would love to know how much they bring in a year, annual revenue on these yellow gaskets. I put this dye in when I first got here, and I've been here for like over an hour now. Come on. And no color came into the bowl, so that tells me that it's not running. But he says at night he hears it. He did this himself. I don't like those. Oh, yeah. There's water in the lines. Okay. It's going to be blue the next couple flushes. That's a 1059291. And so I'm pretty much just wrapping up here. Between replacing that PRV, fixing the toilet, and then coming back to this tankless water heater. I would say it was about 40 to 45 minutes. So this definitely got a bit of a longer flush than typically what I would do for a tankless water heater. But there's no harm in that. Just doing my usual, restoring the cold water back into the unit, and then keeping my hose in the bucket to flush some of that scale out of there. And then what I do before even plugging the unit back in is I'll turn on like a laundry sink, a slop sink, or a bathtub, just to let the water flow through the system for a good 5 to 10 minutes, just to ensure that there's none of that solution left. It's not harmful. There's, no bad chemicals in it or anything like that. But, once I do that, I plug the system back in, let it run, and, it's good to go at that point. So, yeah, it was definitely a good trip. It was a good visit to this client's home because we were just able to tackle multiple things at once, which is definitely one of the benefits to having the plumbing service agreement with us, between the discounts, the annual visits, the free snakings, all the different perks that we offer for having it definitely pay for themselves. Like, usually in one visit, they pay for themselves. So, you can see I'm getting that turned back on. Yeah, that's pretty much it. It was a nice, easy, straightforward visit. Do my little Simba. Yeah, so if you made it this far, I appreciate you guys watching. I appreciate you listening through that voiceover. It's definitely interesting, like watching back your work and narrating it. I'm used to just talking as I'm working, so it's a little bit different. I don't think I'm going to be doing it that often. I only did it for the reasons I said earlier, but maybe every now and then I'll do it that way. But yeah, very straightforward, very simple maintenance visit, nothing overly complicated or anything different than what I've done before on my channel. But I do appreciate you guys watching. I appreciate everyone that's helped me get to 1,000 subscribers and beyond. Super exciting. I do have a couple things coming up. I'm going to be doing the 1K giveaway. I haven't forgotten about that. We have a collaboration coming up, so there'll be a video coming out for that soon. So yeah, definitely stay tuned. We got some exciting things going on. Still doing the free stickers, so if you want a free sticker, just email me, plumguyny@gmail.com. And yeah, I'll catch you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching. If you want a little bonus clip, check out this video of Derek. Have a good night.